NASA is working on the Artemis Program, which aims to send astronauts back up to the moon. To achieve this monumental feat, the space agency contracted Boeing, a reliable rocket manufacturer, to build the launch vehicle. However, this isn't the first rocket Boeing has built for NASA. The storied company watched its contribution to the Saturn V send astronauts to the lunar surface for the first time. In this video, we're going to go over the history of this historic company. Let's get into it. Before William E. Boeing made his start in aviation, he was a lumber entrepreneur in Seattle, Oregon. His excitement for airplanes sparked in 1909 after seeing one in action at the Alaska-Yukon Pacific Exposition that year. The businessman promptly learned to fly from the greatest in the country at the time, and 7 years later, he founded Pacific Aero Products Company. Boeing began production out of an old boatworks in Seattle. With his experience in lumber, he was able to convert the boatworks into wooden parts manufacturing for planes. His models didn't find customers at first, but when the United States entered World War I in 1917, the US Navy ordered 50 of Boeing's Model 2s. While demand for planes quickly dropped following the end of the war, Boeing had made an impression. The federal government contracted the airplane manufacturer to build a fleet of mail carriers that would deliver from coast to coast. By the time of World War II, Boeing was one of the country's prominent aeronautics contractors. Almost immediately after its inception, Boeing started selling the Model 2s to the US government in World War I. With experience in the lumber industry, the airplane manufacturer had access to top-of-the-line wood components. Following the war, the company again used its experience to supplement business. For years, while airplane sales halted, Boeing switched to building furniture and other wooden products. Boeing's experience in World War I awarded the company a government contract to build mail carriers. Boeing moved from wood to all-metal aircraft and led the industry. The presence was so prominent that Congress prohibited them from flying mail. This resulted in a major scandal, with the company splitting into smaller entities and William E. Boeing leaving. After President John F. Kennedy announced that the US would land a man on the moon, Boeing was contracted to build the first stage of the Saturn V, which would become the largest rocket ever built. While they were building space launch systems, Boeing continued to develop its airplanes. In 1967, the manufacturer introduced the 737. Having improved their mail carrier's capacity immensely, this mid-scale airliner could transport up to 130 passengers. The 737 became the best-selling commercial aircraft in history. With Boeing's unprecedented success with its commercial airlines, the manufacturer grew exponentially. The company started changing its infrastructure, acquiring Rockwell Aerospace and Defense. They also merged with McDonnell Douglas, another prominent aerospace contractor. The merger was too big, however, and led to volatile company culture. Boeing went under fire for unethical business policies, which included corporate espionage and poor manufacturing. Boeing continued to manufacture successful aircraft as it entered the next millennium, but it failed to compete against competitors like Lockheed Martin and Airbus for new contracts. The company turned its gaze towards spaceflight technology, offering its services to NASA to build parts for the International Space Station. The airplane manufacturer's reputation for quality aircraft dropped steadily as they turned their focus towards space. Boeing received contracts from NASA to transport astronauts to the International Space Station. They are currently building NASA's newest launch vehicle, the Space Launch System. Boeing's history is full of incredible accomplishments and a wonderful tenacity to keep looking towards the future. We hope you enjoyed this video and encourage you to like and subscribe. Don't forget to visit historycomputer.com to learn more. Thanks for watching.